Lloyd, CEO of Purewater, and today I'll tell you about the development plan of our company. So our company is just starting, and in order for us to generate revenue, we have to first complete 4 steps. First being to complete the design of our pure MDC unit, and then to build a pilot test plan that utilizes that technology, to obtain a government contract after that, and lastly, to build an actual full-scale plan. These will become our 4 milestones that we'll complete before revenue generation. So the first milestone, complete the design of pure MDC, would take approximately 10 months. First step would be to file for a patent, because this is a new technology, and we need to create barriers of entry for our competitors so that they cannot just copy our technology. After that, we'll complete the logistics of recruiting and also obtaining an office space for our operations. With this done, we will spend around 6 months completing the design of our pure MDC desalination units. And then with that, we complete the first milestone of our company, which is to design the pure MDC. After that, we construct our first pilot test plan. This will involve around also 10 months of operations. And first, we'll source for manufacturers, construction partners, and also operation partners. These people will hopefully be our long-term partners, and we will have mutually beneficial long-term contracts with them. After we source these 3 groups of partners, we will, with them, build a pilot test plan to test out our design and make sure we work out all the kinks in our technology. And with that, we complete our second milestone, which is constructing a pilot test plan. With our pilot test plan done, the next step would be to obtain a government contract, government contract in Europe. So this activity will take longer. It will take around 13 months. And then firstly, we'll hire and train both marketing personnel and also project managers. Marketing personnel to market our product to both the key people in governments that pick which companies to sell their tenders to, and also to environmental groups and the public so that they see the benefits of our technology. Project managers, on the other hand, will work with our partners and make sure the whole process is streamlined. So after we have these people hired, we'll work on our marketing campaign, which would educate, as I said before, key officials and also the public about the benefits of our technology. While we're doing marketing, we'll also begin project financing, which would be very important in the boot model because most of the financing in the boot model is done using funds provided for by the company who's actually building the plant, which would be, in this case, us, Purewater. After project financing, we will source and bid for tenders, and then hopefully within 5 to 6 months win a tender because of our because we have very good technology that we believe that governments will see. So after we win the tender, we'll have to work on building the plant. This process will take approximately a year, and the construction of the first plant will be done by a turnkey EPC provider, which, for example, Black and Veatch and also other companies provide these services. So we do not really have to care about the details of this process. We will just tell them the specifications of our plant, work with them, provide financing, and they would build the full plant for us. After this, we'll spend around a month to optimize the plan and make sure that there aren't any serious problems. And with that, we'll complete our last milestone before revenue generation and start producing water. So at this point, I'll take any questions regarding our development plan. Oh, like during that process, we'll be filing for patents, but that process might take more. It might take more than 3 months, but the whole process getting the technology. And yeah, but like we'll spend that time filing for it, but like approval might be later. But we'll just outlining that we'll do that in the first thing. That's the first thing we do.
Aren't you concerned with the environmental regulations that you might have to comply with that might extend your time frame?
I think those will be sorted out before by the government while they're working on the tender.
Okay.
That shouldn't be our problem.
I'm just a bit confused about the slide where you said you were going to the timeline where you were hiring personnel. If you could go back to it, I just wanted to. Yeah, so you're going to hire the project managers after the marketing personnel?
Yeah.
Why are those managers for those marketing personnel?
The project managers are mostly for building the plan, so we don't really need them until after that.
Do you think you could technically like work on getting a government contract even like from the beginning?
Well,
like
we do need the specs of our whole thing worked out.
Oh, okay. So you have to do the pilot plan before you. Okay.
What exactly is the pilot plan?
It's for example, if we plan to build 10 billion gallons per day plant, we'll first build maybe like 0.5 million gallons per day plant. A cheap plant, but we're still testing.
So is that prototype like more time included in the development plan?
Yeah.
That is what DC unit?
Right there. It's our second milestone.
Do you think? You go.
There you go.
Do you think you could get revenue out of this point?
Usually what happens is governments require you to build a pilot test plant before you bid for a tender.
But could you sell this, like, for example, privately? So you might be able to get like a private early adopter, quote unquote, you would go.
The pilot test plant will usually be built on a site where your tender will be. Where you plan to have your tender.
If it was in Spain, per se, we could build a pilot test plant, and if it worked, you could happen to sell to agriculture, which might have lower standards. Like, once the test plant was working, when you started to move on, you could, if it wasn't too cost prohibitive, you could move that water and sell it to agriculture. But Spain is one of the only places that does that on a large scale.
Okay.
I thought it was pretty interesting that you guys are doing this pilot test plant, but do you guys get the financing? I mean, source for EPC plant.
We would expect financing to happen before each milestone, pretty much, because we will need significant funding for each operation.
Because you were saying that it's like half size from the actual one. Isn't that really expensive?
It's actually a lot cheaper.
A lot cheaper.
Like water increase, each step you go, it increases exponentially.
Okay, Lloyd, your timing was good. You're actually just a couple of seconds under 5 minutes, so that worked well. And you're a good speaker. I mean, it worked well. You kept us engaged, and you felt, at least you appeared to be pretty comfortable up there. Your intro was excellent. The fact that you told us what you were going to tell us, which is following, the basic principles of speaking. So you laid out right in the beginning what we can look forward to, and then you had a slide that gave us the detail for each point. Yet the slide ends up with a lot of text on it, but the way you introduced it, a line at a time, it actually worked quite well, and I think the slide is reasonably, interesting to look at, so it worked very well. One thing you may want to do, you see how on your intro slide you've got the numbers for each step?
Yeah.
Now go to your next slide. If you had a number 1 in front of it, then that would walk us through, so then you had 1, 2, 3, 4, we continue the sequence, okay? In terms of your marketing personnel, what you call them for government type work, another word for them is lobbyists. Yeah, but this is also going to get into whether or not you're going to be marketing directly to the government or whether you're going to market to a Black and Beach or a American Water, for instance. And it kind of depends. I made a comment on your assignment that I turned back. We'll have to talk to John Young and see what the most effective way. You may want to just market your cells, produce the cells, let somebody like a Black and Beach put an entire plant around it. to get into the EPC, engineering, procurement, construction industry on a big plant is, I think, a lot for a startup to chew off. I mean, I think focusing on your individual cells and what they do is probably going to be a better business model for you. Okay, but you can see if you agree with that or not. So the very good use of PowerPoint. At the end, we should have finished up with a summary slide, okay? Because you introduced us to what you had, and then you walked through it at the end. Not just a repetition of your first slide, but kind of indicate maybe with an overall timeline that showed all the pieces together, something like that. But otherwise, it was a good presentation. It was good. Okay.